Our first big map change for CS2 is here, and we also had a little bit more updates with this, with updating Overpass, and they changed out some community maps. I am super excited for it. I think that we've needed a map pool change for a while. A little bit of bias since we do play Vertigo, but I'm happy that they didn't add it before the major. I don't think that you should ever be adding a map before like a big tournament, especially not the major, since you just won't have enough time to practice it and have like all of your stuff down. So first looks at Train, you can immediately see that the rain is going onto my weapon, which is actually really cool. The layout is very different, but I am optimistic about it, and I'll kind of get into why. I haven't really played a lot on the map at all, since obviously it just came out while we were at the major. There's not really going to be any time to get any real games out on it. I think that you can see that, outside is completely changed with the angles. On one hand, it's a lot more open in terms of like the sight, and they obviously changed this train. They got rid of the blue train that was here before, and they just made this more diagonal. And I think that they're just making it so it's kind of easier for the T's to get out. There's a lot less sight lines for oppers. So to me, this map looks a lot harder for ops to impose their will on the map. Before there was a bunch of different angles that, you could potentially be like posted up with an op pretty much immediately from the start of the rounds. The second big thing that I noticed was obviously pop ladder is completely changed. There is no ladder anymore. The ladder used to be here and you would go down. And a lot of time you would do like these fancy little tricks to be able to get down into it. A lot of people are upset that it's gone.
This map is terrible. There's no ladder. Their teammate is ruined. They've ruined everything.
And I completely understand that. But on the other hand, I felt like as a T, there's so many like kind of annoying like little things that you have to do just because you're, going down like a little hole. So you would have like these little molly tricks that you'd be doing. You'd be doing like double drop downs. And as a CT, all you have to do is pretty much just like stay posted like on the angle for the guy to drop down in. So now that whole thing is different. And I think that could be a positive change. Like, I don't know. I think that there's, a chance that this is going to be something positive. I think it also gives a little bit more potential for the CTs. Like if you have ladder control, in the last train, you couldn't really do too much with it, right? Like before you kind of just posted on it. And the only time that you could go up the ladder was when you knew for sure that they're going inner. And even still then, there still might be somebody that's posted on the ladder and just immediately kills you. I just think that there is potential. And without me doing like a deep dive and having like a bunch of scrims played on it, I think it's hard for me to really have a good idea. There's also no heaven anymore too. They even just made this like a little box. Maybe they just didn't get to it, guys. Maybe they didn't get to it. This might be the heaven that we've been waiting for, and they're going to open it up. The windows are going to be open. Like, who knows? Before we continue, if you want to take your Counter-Strike abilities to the next level, then you need to check out refrag.gg. Refrag is the premier training tool available for Counter-Strike 2, with over 20 different modes that train you at each aspect of the game, from aim to counter-strafing, utility, and so much more. We also have all of the modes for you to be able to practice train. So for example, we have like this spray transfer mod that's on train. So you have like all the arenas that you could be doing, spray transfer training with it, crossfire and xfire and pre-fire, everything like that. So we have stuff for you to already be training all of your skills onto train. So make sure that you check that out. If you want to use the training platform that me and so many other players use, then you need to check out refrag.gg. And now let's get back to the video. Ivy's pretty interesting. They're trying to like keep this the same spirit of how it was at Ivy before, where you had like a little gen here, but instead they just made it into a cubby. Looking at inner now, they made this a lot more open. They removed this train. One cool part that I think that they did here is actually adding this little hut. I think actually isn't the worst thing. It's because on T side, most of the time you were having to do a lurk smoke that was like this, and this little hut is pretty much providing that same function. So now you're actually able to, go upper, and you can get close and then do some type of pop, or you can all swing together, and you're not going to have, an op or an AUG or just somebody like on these sight lines from super deep, and you won't be able to do anything about it. I think that my initial impressions is that I think it looks kind of cool. I'm pretty excited for it. I think that the map pool change is something that's been super necessary for a while. And I hope that they end up doing 2 map pool changes. It might not be better than how it was in the old train, but I'm going to give it a chance. And I think that there's going to be good potential for a lot of different new strategies for people to come up with. So when you go to the settings menu here, you're going to see immediately on new, it's showing the 3 new settings that we have. So for damage prediction here, when you go to setting, this is currently what I'm trying out with it. And I usually play on super low ping. For predict body shots, I have it on headshot effects, I have it to no, and kill ragdolls, I have it on yes. So pretty much like what this setting is doing is it's trying to make the game feel more responsive and immediately play the audio and visual effects of either the body shot, the headshot, and showing the kill ragdoll as soon as it happens on your client. But this can differ from what the server thinks. So I think that it's too risky to have headshots on, especially if you might have varying ping or your internet connection isn't stable. I think that they should give us, some type of sound indication that the server itself is saying that no, your client was wrong, this didn't actually happen. But I think for now it's way too risky, and you should definitely not have this on, in my opinion. Even the body shot effects, I'm not sure if it should be on or off right now, but I play with super low ping, so I can only see it as a positive for myself. So for the animation, they also changed how it looks when a player is blinded by a flashbang. It's just more accurately showing if somebody is blinded. So if you got like half blind, or maybe just even a little bit blind, it would show, hiding your eyes. And now it's only if they're getting completely blinded. So that's a very nice change, because sometimes people would think that they are completely blind, but they're actually not. So definitely good little update for that. And another setting that they changed with this radar HUD that blends with background and the background opacity, I think this is nice. I actually prefer that it would be just completely dark and not blending with the background. So I have my opacity on 1. What that does is, if you look at the top left here, it's trying to blend in with the background. I prefer if my radar is just completely solid color. That's also how I had it when I was playing at 1.6. So you can clearly see the difference there, and that's my preference as well if you want to copy that. One more thing that they added, there you go, play, practice, competitive, click on train, and then you can do load map guide. So this is what happens when you load into the map, and it's just teaching you how to go into these spots and showing you how to do a jump throw. It's also showing the new jump indicator, which is really cool. So if you hold space, it's showing that little icon on the top left that you are jumping. And that's just a nice little quality of life thing, because before you would have to do this, where you're just like constantly jumping to see where something's going to land. So very nice quality of life. And it will teach you how to do all the smokes from, these different positions, and it's showing where it goes, long dog and Z. So they even have the callouts in here. Very cool. And now moving on to the last changes of overpass, and I think that this is definitely gearing up for them to want to bring it back into the map pool. So I'm assuming that they want to do train and overpass after the major is done, which is definitely a W in my book. I think that adding 2 maps at the same time is going to be very nice. So they kind of did some small things here and there. They removed this angle here at the shelf. They changed this so that there's an opening now, and there's no more water. So you either have to fall out of heaven like that to not to take any damage, or you just fall on the right side here at the tire. You don't want to fall too far to the left, otherwise you'll take damage. The other big thing is they removed all the water. This also makes me kind of think maybe they want to get rid of Ancient. If they're removing the water, it's why would they remove the water kind of out of nowhere? And I think the other main things here is they removed this glass. So instead it's wood. So you can actually play more in this corner. And I think that's a positive change, because you can kind of play off of these things if both parties know that it exists. You guys can both take advantage of it, and this is a really nice change, I think, as well. They added this little sign here for worst hole, so they did that. So now when you jump up here, you can be hidden when you're actually up here now, because before, as soon as you would jump here, you would immediately in line of sight if anybody was posted here. So if an opper was posted right here, so single zoomed, and you jumped up, they can actually see you and just flick to you. But overall, just looking at all the patch changes for overpass, there's not really anything too crazy. I think it's little small optimizations that they're doing. Let me know what you guys think, if you think that they're going to be adding in overpass and train, and what maps you think that they should get rid of. If I was to guess, I think Vertigo's probably out. The second map, I have no idea. I think you could honestly make a case for any of them. I hope that they just keep in Dust 2. I think Dust 2 has been super fun. Anubis has been really fun, and outside of that, I could see a case being made for any of the maps. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.